Saturday night, this man is the special guest enforcer for a match between Bully Ray and Diener and Scott D'Amore and a mystery partner. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Former NHLer, the enforcer, the man, Big Mac himself from the Detroit Red Wings. Darren McCarty joins us now on the show.
Listen,
hello,
Jeremy. Now I realize, why everybody hates you. But I mean, no, it's no. But in all honesty, you're rocking a Forsberg, and a Forsberg.
Oh, see, look at that, my guy Fopa's got. Oh, there we go.
Sorry. I mean, that's my people blowing up my stuff. Do you believe that Jeremy's wearing and dissing you like that? So you heard that the discard just went up, and I'm gonna tell him to relax. Because here it's just like at the end of the day, it's okay, dude. I got 3, you got 2, we won. I mean, that's how we keep track. But yeah, no, a lot of props, and I tell everybody my Peter Forsberg story. I hit Peter Forsberg. He's carrying the puck through the neutral zone, and I hit him with his head down, knocked the wind out of both of us. I mean, he was as solid. He used to do the Datsuki in reverse shoulder before.
Oh,
but I got no props. I got no bad blood with Colorado. Just go to Unrivaled ESPN. You can see all the, DarrenMcCarty.com. You can see all that past. Instead, I got bigger things. I got drug into. This is what happens when you're from the Windsor area, Essex County, and you're asked to sort of commandeer something that's way bigger than me. Like, I'm just gonna be there, right? And as the guest referee, I got no dog in this fight, as we've heard all over social media and all over Busted Open or wherever we listen to, like, what's it saying? This is personal between D'Amore and Bully over. We've watched it on our televisions over 6 months. Now the Cody Diener stuff is real too. That goes back to TNA. So I'm just there because I guess I know a little bit about rivalries and being in when the fire gets a little hot. So I think, guys, the big question is does anybody speculate on who Scott D'Amore's partner is? Because if it's who I guess that it is, it's gonna be fireworks galore. Let's just say we're bringing the Essex County, Kent County, Southern Ontario vibes to your living room.
So before we recklessly speculate on who that's going to be, and we will get to that, this really all started. I mean, your wrestling career has been for a few years, but this stuff with Impact really kicked off at Impact Sacrifice back in March. How did that whole thing come together? How did you find yourself beyond the barricade at Impact?
Minding my own business, as I usually am, guys. I'm not a wrestler. I don't want to do it, but I will. And it's just because I was sitting there with my buddies enjoying it. And then, by the way, my buddy Ray Bully still owes him a beer because he took his beer and decided to wash me with it and face wash me with it. So I don't know. Well, I'm Canadian, so we got something about doing that in front of, in our hometown. And I didn't think I'd get away with it. I didn't think he was man enough to let me in the ring. So how many people can say that they've got to slap Bully Ray upside the head a few times? Now, I did go through a table. That's, Robbins racing, as they say in the in NASCAR. So, I mean, like, if you know anything about me, you're going to get me. Like, that's inevitable, but I'm going to get you too. So I'm going to get mine in. And so I'll be smarter than that. Bully Ray's like Claude Lemieux to me, right? When you're on the ice or in the ring, don't turn your back or you're an idiot, right? We know. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, put it this way. I've been put through a lot more tables in front of a lot less people.
You mentioned that you're not a wrestler, but you will be wrestling on. They've announced this in 2 weeks on Impact, and then you also do some stuff with ICW No Holds Barred. So, like, you are wrestling, Darren.
No, I'm not a wrestler, but I will do it. right? Where I will get in there and do it. But I got a band and I'm not a musician, and I do comedy and I'm not a comedian. I'm an entertainer. So I'll get in there and entertain any way I can. But no, I think the number one thing, guys, and I appreciate you, coming on. I'm a big fan of Fightful and what you guys do. And even because, as Jeremy, love what you love, right? Love who you love. I'm a storyline guy, right? So I don't have to like it, but it's got to make sense. If I can put the pieces together. So, yeah, I'm around it enough. My son, the lovable psychopath, Tommy Vendetta, who people on the independent scene, and if you follow ICW and stuff, making a name for himself, be out and about there. So he's out west with Circle Six and stuff this weekend. So, I mean, I end up by myself and I end up guest refereeing. So I've been in the ring. I do that stuff. But again, I guess, Jeremy, my point, and Josh or Joel, is the fact that I don't want to, but I will.
I get it. I really do.
Now, yeah. But here's the whole thing, right? You're talking about getting in the ring and Raj Singh and his partner, but I got Tommy Dreamer. So whenever I feel like, whenever I'm old enough, I'm grateful enough to have Tommy Dreamer, good or whether that's good or bad, as a friend, so I can lean on him. I know that, some of my other friends go, he goes, Tommy doesn't win. And I'm like, I know, but he survives. And I'm a survivor too. So you know what? I go with wherever Tommy takes me. Sometimes we have a conversation at the end of it going, what the? And he goes, I know. And it's like, okay, let's not do that again. So we'll see if that's that way after this weekend.
Okay. So you're familiar with Stanley Cups. I want to know what's the Stanley Cup of wrestling for you? What's your ultimate goal, even as an entertainer? Because we're talking about, you do a lot of different things, but you're not specifically that thing. So what is that ultimate goal for you?
So there's two motivations for me. And that's the Princess Penelope Lou in the background making her appearance. It's if anybody knows my story, I'm almost 8 years clean and sober, and it's through having an option, and cannabis is a big part of my recovery. I have a Darren McCarty cannabis brand that, and like I see here, like topicals, for pain and relief and stuff like this. Being able to, the CBDs, the CBNs, the stuff, the education. I lived through the opioids, the alcohol and stuff like this. For me, it's about options. It's about passion. So really my end goal is that people know that they have an option and there's someone around that is about that for this plant, right? And it's nothing other than that. And so for the wrestlers and the fans and guys that are sick and tired of being sick and tired, there is an option. That's one. Another thing too, it's not about me. It's about, with Tommy Vendetta or Malcolm Monroe III, were the Pillars of Michigan, or my tag team Midwest Scum, the Drag King Logan or Grimy Zach Thomas. It's their passion. I see that I had to get where I needed to go, and I just want to be able to sort of help in any way with a front row seat, being a wrestling fan, and sort of be able to be, sort of behind the curtain, but not having to do all of it, like having to be fully immersed in it, but to be a fan and to respect it. It's the best of both worlds. So I think from being around, everybody understands that, I'm just around, and I'm about, the good things about wrestling, the love and the respect, and helping people not only not have to suffer when they know that they have options with the plant. I can be that person for education, so that you don't have to suffer through other things. That's the one. And then just following everybody else's passion, and then being a fan. I mean, think about it, guys. Think about it, right? This is Slammiversary. Okay, I'll be watching, or because it's next door, I'd be where I was last time. But instead, I get to be on the other side of it as a guest enforcer, doesn't get any better than that. This is my, I guess you say, your WrestleMania moment. But so was going through a table, and so was being able to pin John Skyler after hitting him with a D-Mac Stoner, which is a punch to the gut, instead of a kick, because I can't get my leg up like that. That's not a hockey move. But to be able to be in there in a triple tag, just to be a part of it. That's what it is, where I'm at in my life and stuff. So I just want to be a positive influence wherever I go. And sometimes where you have to go is in the OK Corral, where there's going to be some gunfighting and stuff like that. So my job is that everybody gets out alive. So there's going to be some beatings. There's probably going to be some bloodshed. There's going to be some feelings hurt. But this is history, and it's sort of like that, the Hatfields and McCoys, and we're going down to it, and I got the best seat in the house.
I do want to recklessly speculate on the partner, but when you mentioned talking to guys backstage and following their careers and stuff, you had a long NHL career, and you've been through not only on the ice, but just personally, like ups and downs and everything. Do wrestlers come to you and ask about like how basically to not let the lows get you too low and get the highs too high, because you've won multiple Stanley Cups, you've also lost it in series and everything, and it's like, oh, how do we bounce back from this, or how do we do this again, win another Stanley Cup? So the wrestlers talk to you about that kind of stuff.
I'm very fortunate that I have great relationships with a lot of the different wrestlers, so it depends on who they are, but I'm an open book, and that's the one thing is that I wrote a book in 2012, My Last Fight, True Story of a Hockey Rock Star. I mean, I've been through bankruptcies, divorces, gambling, alcohol, everything like that. My sobriety date's 11/11/15, and by the grace of God, and finding the being able to love myself. It's all about self-awareness. So I'm willing for a conversation. The one thing that I know, listen, D-Mac, right? D-Mac, who's the hockey, is the wrestler. I've been playing a wrestler my whole life. I've been playing a character that I've known who D-Mac was since I was 6 years old. It took me to be 46 until I realized who Darren McCarty was, right? So even though I'm not a wrestler, I've lived a character, D-Mac, the hockey player that you as an Avalanche fan hate. Right, for that character to be able, because when the puck drops, there is a certain level of wrestler that comes out in D-Mac. Now, today I'm Darren McCarty. Unfortunately, I gotta in the ring pull out D-Mac again, probably, but I'm prepared for that for when it happens. So I'm here for anybody that has questions on life and bottom line, just wants to be better. Didn't know they have options, and just look for my perspective. I say enjoy my truth, and I'm very grateful around because I get some great perspective from people who have lived the wrestling life, and it's just all about surrounding yourself with good people. At the end of the day, you're either an asshole or you're not.
So you're talking about becoming D-Mac again in the ring and having to enforce this coming Saturday at Slammiversary. I gotta ask then, what's easier, throwing a punch with or without skates on?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Well, that's a loaded question because people don't understand as I box during the off season. So I'm like technically amateur, boxer to learn it, but throwing a punch on the ice for us, like our grace or mine at least is that like I could fall down skating by myself from one end of the ice, but you put me in a fight with somebody and it turns into a ballerina. I gotta say it's easier throwing a punch on the ice. It's more natural. But that's the one thing too, is that like somebody asked me, oh, do you throw wrestling punches? And I was like, what's that? I don't know. Like, no, I'm going to throw a punch, and you know what? You're either going to be smart to get out of the way and not let it hurt or not. So, I got Jason Hotch. I got, one of the good hands, real good. Real good. He's still, you know what? He's from around the area, and I ran into him at a show, and he just went, yeah, and I went, yeah, you know it. So I know where the button is.
Let's talk about Slammiversary and this match. The no holds barred match where you are the special enforcer. Scott D'Amore does not have a partner right now. Impact ended last night where he said he wanted somebody who can come back from the dead. Who are you thinking here, Darren? Who do you think
guys.
that's going to be besides Scott D'Amore on Saturday?
Like, you don't really, do I got to be the one? Because immediately, what do I got to be the guy to read between the lines of the narrative? I told you I love the storyline. So how far do I have to peel back? Oh my God. Cody Deaner ever killed a guy? Did he ever kill a Canada guy? Did he ever kill one of my favorite guys ever in wrestling? Eric Young, maybe? Because you think it'd be EY?
Wait a minute.
Could you imagine?
You mean it's not Taya Valkyrie coming back from the undead realm? They've trapped her in there.
Or there you go. You don't even know. That'd be badass. Could you imagine coming back? So that's my guess. I still think PCO. I mean, I get it. PCO is like that truck on your farm, your grandpa's farm, that like it has to have 1 million miles on it and it won't die. That's PCO. I know they got him with, stuff down his throat and lit him on fire, but he might still be around. But I would say, like, if writing on the wall, going to history and stuff, I'm hoping maybe that's it. Maybe I'm wishing too much that it'd be Eric Young. And then somebody told me he's under contract somewhere, and so that burst my bubble, but I don't want to believe it.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I was saying, I think it's a good bet on Eric Young.
Who would you guys say?
Teased it, but what's that?
Who do you guys think?
I think Eric Young makes the most sense. I don't know quite what his WWE status is. That's where he was signed to, returned, but we have not seen him in any capacity there. So maybe he has gotten out of that deal and is able to do this because somebody was died. Deaner's on the other side. Then the Team Canada jersey there. Kind of all aligns for Eric Young here.
Yeah, it all comes together. Hey, we're going to find out on Saturday at Slammiversary. It's an exciting moment. The show's going to be fantastic. Looking forward to that this Saturday, July 15th at Windsor's St. Clair College, I should say. Tickets are still available. Go check them out. Slammiversary is going to be a fun show. We'll have a post show on Fightful.com. Myself and Steven Jensen will be doing this. I have one last question, Darren, for you.
Yes, sir.
What other NHLers would make good or great professional wrestlers?
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind, I always like George The Rock. I always like some of the tough guys. My guy behind me, Bob Probert, would have been the best professional wrestler as far as that, but he lived the gimmick. So God rest his soul. George The Rock, Jeremy Roenick, he'd be more in the Miz, style, like but just could do everything, nickname, styles and stuff like that. A guy that I just 100,000,000%, Andre Waugh, who won a cup with Tampa Bay, tough guy around, one of the funniest human beings. So he'd have everybody in stitches and stuff like that. I think hockey players, not only because of what's required physically or and the athletic ability of them, but like they're characters. We have a lot of characters in hockey. As you can see, if you watch Letterkenny or Shores era, it's not far off. You know what I'm saying? It's a little stretched, but not far off from the culture grown up in. So the best one would have been Proby. He would have been the best because the more that he got into it, the more into the match, the longer he had that flare gas tank that he just got better, or steamboat. Okay, 40 minutes, you ready to do it now? Get out of here. So Proby would have been the best one ever.
I had a super question from Ryan, and then I do have more hockey wrestling related questions. But Ryan asked stereotypical sports reporter question. Hey Darren, who do you think gets more beat up hockey players or wrestlers?
Oh, on the daily, wrestlers, 100%. Every time they're gonna go to a game or into the ring or whatever, they got to be bumping or selling or doing something, and that's their plan, is to come out scot-free and not hurt. Although they'll do moves that they know that's going to hurt in the morning. Hence saying, "Oh, let's pull out a table, let's pull out a chair," right? So by far, wrestlers, and that's along the same lines as hockey players too. Every game and stuff being physical and having to hit. I just don't, you know. I'll tell you this. Here's the answer to the question. Hockey players for sure get taken care of a lot better than what wrestlers do. And that's one of the things that's so important. It ain't it's and here's the one thing with my brand and everything else, the topical or whatever to make you feel better. It's not I'm not being nice. It's I'm such a sick wrestling fan that I know that the better that you feel out of the ring will make you do crazier stuff inside the ring and entertain me more. So actually I win. So it's all about, I think that we and the wrestling injuries, because how many times you see this and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not my nagging elbow that I constantly run it into somebody, right? I fell off the top rope here. Now I got this, and I never even knew I had a muscle here, or what? That's wrestling. Hockey, you injure the same sort of thing over and over again.
Darren, when did you get into wrestling? Because I like knowing your career and everything, like mid 90s, the Avs Red Wings rivalry doesn't like align with like what was going on at wrestling right then. It was a lot of over the top kind of silly cartoon characters in the midnight, and then the Attitude Era got a little bit more blood and guts. But I can see you being like Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair era. So am I off base with that, or when did you get into wrestling?
No. Watched it, but Stone Cold. So
Okay.
when Stone Cold came around, when he slammed the Zamboni into the ring, that was at Joe Louis Arena. When we got to meet, sort of all those guys. And I'm very fortunate. Like, I've been friends with like Chris Jericho for a long time, and get to meet guys along the way, stuff like this. But it was Stone Cold. I used to I still do. I call it Stone Cold. I run around. I run around with Stone Cold. Everybody who knows me, I have 316 shirts, or 313 D-Max shirts or whatever it is. But he was Stone Cold. My teammate Matthew Dandino was The Rock. And we used to wrestle all the time. And then we used to make one of our other teammates, Mike Knuble, we used to make him be Mankind, and we'd hit him with chairs, and we'd attack him, out of the blue in the dressing room and stuff. So we were big. I've been on some, back in the day, I got to break a hockey stick over Bob Holly to protect D'Lo Brown in one of the Monday Night Raws or whatever like that. So I've always been around it. I lived down in Clearwater for like 6 years after retirement. So good buddies with Sean Waltman, and Kevin Nash has been a good friend from here, and knowing a lot of the local guys, but just never been around until like and sort of been a fan, right? Like all of us, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But it wasn't until COVID that I really got into. And I always been like, I shouldn't say that, because ECW is always my jam, right? Like ECW, that's the ECW is the rivalry, right? Like, I mean, that's and Van Dam being from here, but you bring it like Tommy Dreamer, the perennial baby face, and I could, relate to him and stuff like this. And then Sabu being around here, and just the Sandman, and just the carnage, right? That all that you knew that was coming. Danny D'Amato told me something that I love. Sweat and blood tell different stories. And I like the stories with the blood in them, because just like hockey, I like the commitment. But unlike MMA, where it's like hockey, it's fight for your life, I like everybody to be a part of the story. And at the end of the day, everybody hugs and go, man, we entertain the heck out of them. That's just because I've been in the wars. right? Do you get it? So I don't need to, I'm full. I got so many t-shirts of stuff done, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, that it's just, it's just for, I'm trying to surround like-minded people that love to get entertained by the same thing, that love the thing that's called wrestling.
Darren, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. I will say it. I said I was going to say it. I didn't like you. I feel like that's not shocking news to you.
You're not supposed to, bro.
Yes. That's what I figured. I figured
Can I
you'd
say
be like,
thank you, Jeremy, for that means I did my job to the best.
yeah.
Would you have loved me on your team, though?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
if you were on my
gift
team
that I have, is everybody would have wanted me to play for them, and I would have played. Honestly, if I wore a Colorado jersey, you would have had. You got my sword, you got my shield, no matter where I go.
I love the
like what I have to do this weekend.
Look at whoever Bully Ray, if you got to imagine him as Claude Lemieux, and to make it a little bit, more on there, then I respect that as well. I love the documentary that came out last year, the Unrivaled documentary with the Wings and Abs, which is a fantastic look at everything. And I was so happy they got so many people to talk about that rivalry. I've read all the books. Obviously, I grew up just watching it. And I figured it when I said I didn't like you, you would respect that, honestly, because that was your job. I was not supposed to like you. As Peter Forsberg, you told the Peter Forsberg story. Like, that's the person who got me into hockey. I watched a game and I watched Peter Forsberg play, and I'm like, this is my guy. This is who I'm rocking with. This is my team. And then I've hated the Detroit Red Wings ever since.
I'll tell you this one thing. Peter Forsberg, one of the most fiercest competitors. I put him in the Terrell Owens category of doesn't matter what we're playing, I just want to win. Like, it's crazy. I play softball with Terrell Owens, who got to be in a charity, and that's, some people are misunderstood. Like, and this is Darren McCarty's view, is that this guy just wants to win. It's not, and some people can misunderstood it. Yeah, Peter Forsberg the same way. He hates us all, and you know what? That's the way it's supposed to be. So thank you. Thank you for hating me enough to have me on the wrestling program to understand. So you made my dreams come true, even though I was crushing yours back in the day. Thank you.
You got the game 7 where Wah let in all those goals, and I thought that was our year.
Wait, don't. Hey, you know what? You don't. This is just for between everybody. This is just whoever, all 3 people or whatever watching or whatever. Like, Jeremy, this is just between me and you, okay? When you're having a bad day, okay, don't worry. It could always be worse. Because you brought up Patrick Waugh and those 7 goals. Forget about that. And forget about the hat trick I scored on him, or if you go back all the goals I scored against him. He got beat up by Mike Vernon, a midget 50-year-old goalie, and then Chris Osgood, a little 12-year-old the next year, right? And then he had to retire. So karma's real.
Retired goal by Minnesota, too. Minnesota got the last goal on Patrick Waugh.
And then why are you so mad at Patrick Waugh, bro?
Patrick.
You're bombed, eh? But it's a good thing you wear a Peter Forsberg jersey, and Peter
I'm
Forsberg
wearing a Milan
is
Hayduk
jersey,
Waugh. Actually. I represent
Hayduk. You got Hayduk?
Yeah.
Oh, Hayduk, sniper. Hey, he's down here in Detroit and whatever like that, so he plays men's league. He's a great guy. See, that's the whole thing, is that you got so many great guys. Adam Foote, big nosed, ugly lumberjack, assistant coach for Vancouver now, one of the greatest human beings, in the history for his team.
Do you have a bad word to say about Joe Sakic? If you have a bad word to say about Joe Sakic, I might.
No, do you have a bad word to say about our king, Steve Yzerman? Listen,
no, I actually have nothing
about those
rivalries.
Your king and my king stayed up on the throne, and us peasants fought down. I'll give you a nugget though. Joe Sakic, Darren McCarty, born in the same Burnaby General Hospital. He took all the skill. I took all the toughness.
Hold on. You're an April Fool's baby, aren't you?
I'm an April Fool's baby. You guys didn't have a chance. Left-handed and everything I've been through. You don't think that the hand of that. So watch out. That's why. And that's everything that I had to put in, to be guest referee for Slammiversary.
We brought it
Yeah.
home. I'm a Sens fan, so for me, I'm like, I got
Get
no
outta
dogs in any
here.
fight, so I got nothing to go
You're
on.
fine. Good luck.
Exactly. The best I got is from that whole conversation, Stevie Wise from Nepean, my hometown, so that works.
Well, and you know what? We really appreciate you letting us trade for Alex DeBrincat there. We're gonna use this 40 goals.
That's true.
We're gonna show you how we're gonna use it to advantage. In fact, at the Detroit Red Wings, we're gonna use it to make the playoffs.
It's fine.
You know, people don't think that we will. We will use Alex DeBrincat in this 40 goals, maybe 50 goals to win the playoffs.
Listen, it didn't win Alfie a cup to go over there, so we'll see how Alex DeBrincat does. Okay.
Yeah, but again, Alex DeBrincat is not Daniel Alfredson.
Of course, these are apples and oranges.
Alex DeBrincat at the age. How old was Alfredson when he came?
Alfie was at the end.
At the end, last, boom, on the way out. Let's have the sweetest contingent play together, right? DeBrincat, young contract, 4 years, fighting for the next contract too. That's the same thing.
That's going to be special. It's going to be special watching him play in Detroit.
Don't be mad.
I'm not upset. You know
got
what?
the redo Cal. Don't be mad. You can skate all winter long.
Go where the money is. Go where you get your good your opportunities. Ottawa is they're not there yet. They will be, new ownership and all, but we got time. So there you go. Darren, thank you so much. D-Mac, this was a really great opportunity to chat with you. Everyone, go check out Slammiversary this Saturday. It's in Windsor, Ontario at St. Clair College. You can watch it on Fight TV and literally everywhere. Just search Slammiversary on your Google machines and you'll find where to watch it. Enforce the hell out of that match, D-Mac, would you?
I'm going to try to stay out of the way and let the boys be boys, but yeah, Jeremy knows what happens if I got to get involved.
Yeah, I feel bad for all of them if Darren actually has to get involved. It's not going to be good. Not going to end well for them.
Well, hey, you know what? We'll just let it fall where they may, and we'll see what happens. But thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Darren. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
Yeah, Darren McCarty 4 is the best way on the Twitter machine or any blue check marks on Instagram. Facebook, the new threads, obviously, too. We're getting up and doing that. DarrenMcCarty.com, or watch me 11 to 1 Monday to Friday, WoodwardSports.com. Anywhere you find it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Darren. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun tomorrow at IMPACT Slammiversary. We really appreciate you joining the show.
All right, anything happens, you need my update, hit me back.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.